In 1984, the follow-up to We Are the World would be recorded, and the name of the song was Do They Know It's Christmas Time? And the song reminded us that it was Christmas time and raised awareness of starving children in Ethiopia. And on December 5th, Wa Rencontre le Père Noël would be released, reminding us to give up this crying business with a synthesized, orchestrated music and extremely hot French pop star. This film that looked like it was made for children also had a strange political message. The film stars Karen Cheryl, who was a popular singer at the time in France, as both Simon's schoolteacher and as the fairy, and Armin Mifre as Santa Claus. Christian Dion directed this film. He was known for comedies in the 70s and 80s. He would be best known for the comedy The Pawn. The film would be redubbed and distributed by New World Pictures, who, like Canon, was buying up foreign films to distribute on video. I guess they needed a break from distributing scantily clad barbarians. This movie entices you at the beginning as a delightful film for kids, like most Christmas films do. The moment the teacher appears, something just does not feel right about this film. I mean, the teacher reminds me of an 80s porn star dressing up as a teacher, for an 80s porn movie. Turns out she is a popular pop star in France named Karen Cheryl. And she, of course, is going to sing. The first edition of the soundtrack on a 33 RPM output in France was quickly withdrawn from sale because Karen Cheryl had not asked permission from her producer, Ibach, to appear in the film or sing for the soundtrack. The disc was reissued with the same cover with a new singer, Tilda. She was known then as Tilda Rion. In Quebec, Nathalie Simard dubbed over the songs because, hey, keep your pop in Canada. I mean, starting off, you have innocent cartoon drawings. We meet Simon, who is pretty much depressed. The janitor/ogre is quickly introduced. The first time I saw this, I thought I smelled the pasta savored minds of Italians, but I was wrong. This is a French film. On top of Simon being depressed, he is bullied by everyone, even the janitor. But granted, the janitor thought Simon did break the window. Simon goes to bed, and we are awakened by a teacher who looks a lot like after this movie she is doing in 80s porn. Wait a minute, that ain't no porn star, that is a French pop star. Before Americans were buying the synthesized Christmas albums that were ripped off straight from Tubular Bells, this movie jumps right into Euro pop Christmas music of the 80s. Simon's asked to go to the bathroom and is hit by the janitor with window spackle, and it does not stop there. The janitor threatens to eat the kid. Simon wants his parents, and really that is all we know right now about the parents. He is living with his grandmother, you see. And I mean, really sounds like a typical Christmas family movie. He asks Santa for his parents. Normal. But okay, here's the thing about the Santa mythos is per country. Santa lives in a different place, so apparently Santa lives in Finland in the French mythos, I guess. I don't know. We now found out that through a scene with Grandma and Hot Teacher that there's no hope for the boy to get his parents back. They're kidnapped in the Serengeti, and the Prime Minister in the past 2 months have ignored the demands of the kidnappers. I guess it's okay to have such political commentary in a French Christmas movie. So Simon goes to sleep, but before he does, he finds a note written by his father stating that if he wishes for something very hard, his wish will always come true. Signed by his loving papa. We get another song while the kids are on their way to a field trip to an airport. We learn about Lapland and Santa's preparation for war. Our first look at the airport is when we see the Asian men taking pictures of the hot French pop star with the kids. At the airport is where the first stop of the magical journey begins. Hot Teacher wants the kids to pretend they're going to take a plane. One kid really wants to leave France. He yells, "Let's take one for real." Then there's one kid who says to the teacher, "I have not hit anyone today." That is so classic. He's my new hero. So the kids, Simon and his little girlfriend, take a trip. Rovaniemi, or the hometown Santa Claus. Thanks, Wikipedia.
You're welcome.
We found out where Santa lives and did not know that he lived in Finland until this movie. We get some great shots of snow-covered Finland, and the kids are already beaten down by cold and hunger. They deny their hunger and cold, and this long walk is too long and drawn out. I bet kids watching this film in the 80s were tuning out by then. The kids are found by Santa, and they do not even ask for ID when they get into the sled. A wolf howls. Santa's philosophy on animals are weird. He believes if you believe wolves are mean, they will be mean. If they're nice, they will be nice. Tell that to a grizzly bear in the middle of Oregon. Santa takes them to his home. I really like to think this is his summer home in Finland, and that his real home is in North Pole, and Jack Frost and Santa have a timeshare in Finland. Santa checks his naughty and nice list for Simon. Luckily, he has a computer. I have to say one of the better lines of the movie comes here. He explains to Simon that he's not asking for a gift, that he is asking for politics. Simon asks, what is politics? And Santa explains that politics is something that you do not want in your stockings. Santa takes the children to his workshop, where we see Hot Teacher turn into Hot Fairy dancing and singing. So Hot Fairy forgives the children from running away and explains that the children have to disobey, and then shows the children where the ogre lives and tells them not to go there because the ogre eats children, and of course that is so ogreous. I have plenty of ogre friends who do not eat children. Santa seeks help from Hot Fairy to help with Simon's request. The Hot Fairy takes Santa to the Serengeti because Hot Fairy has the magic wand, and Simon has taken a little girl with him, I guess. I forgot to mention that she is so tempted by the fact that an ogre is a forbidden territory, so she runs off because it is the forbidden zone. She wants to see what an ogre looks like, and Simon runs off after her. She's so determined to see the ogre, of course. Guess what happens? They are captured by the ogre. The ogre was fresh out of fat children, so he takes the kids. Okay, back in the Serengeti, Santa jumps in a lake and a crocodile goes after the fat elf. Luckily, Hot Fairy turns the croc into a bird. Back into Finland. The ogre hates dirt more than hunger, so he has the kids clean while he's thinking of eating them. In the Serengeti, Hot Fairy and Santa Claus are preoccupied by monkeys. Hot Fairy reminds Claus that they have to help Simon. We go back to Finland. I'm so dizzy now, going back and forth from Finland to the Serengeti. While the ogre is sharpening knives, the children come up with a plan. If they keep cleaning the house, they will not be eaten. Hot Fairy and Santa take a ride through the Serengeti. What about Simon? We'll get there. Hot Fairy and Santa ask the locals if they knew a family that was captured by terrorists. Oh, sure, Snowflake. We'll be telling you where the kidnapped hostages are to you and your sugar daddy. Meanwhile, back at the camp, we find that the hostages are being held until their governments have denounced something. I don't know. It's just terrorist talk, I guess. Meanwhile, back in Finland, we get a small debate on laundry. Back in the Serengeti, Hot Fairy runs her mouth and gets Santa captured. Hot Fairy drops her wand, and Santa and Hot Fairy are brought before the head terrorist. The children of the Serengeti believe he is Santa, but the head chief of the terrorists does not believe. The kids plot to release Santa. Hot Fairy realizes she has lost her wand. Santa and Hot Fairy get into a fight, and the children hide the guns of the terrorists, while Ogre tries to eat a puppy. The kids in the Serengeti get Santa and Hot Fairy out of jail. The Hot Fairy gets her wand and goes back to Finland to get the children back. She puts on a little Red Riding Hood outfit, I guess, to lure the ogre. I don't know. So why am I trying to make sense of this movie? Of course, the ogre has a Red Riding Hood fetish and runs off with Red Riding Hood. Ogre lets everyone know who is going to be what part of his meal. He's going to put whipped cream on Red Riding Hood for dessert, and the boy is going to be the main course. We get awkward scenes of Red Riding Hood saying how tastier she would be instead of the little girl. She sells the ogre on her deliciousness. Simon and the audience wants to know why not use her magic wand, but we fill that plot hole up because the fairy magic does not work in the ogre kingdom. Simon moves a torch that will burn a rope that holds a chandelier up and knocks the ogre on the noggin, and everyone is free. Santa comes in late and everyone gets a sleigh ride. Magical Fairy tells Simon that she disappears at the end of midnight and does not come back until next year. Santa drops the kids off at the house, and after the big choir number at church, we get our big ending. And after, of course, Simon goes to bed and wakes to find his parents, all because Simon believed. What sticks out? Obviously the hot teacher, the Singali scenes, the overtly mentioning of cannibalism. Where was this film? Well, this film was in Finland, France, and Africa. I was believing that this was a French art film, but I can tell with more watching this film, we have an advertisement for a place called Rovaniemi, which is supposed to be the home of Santa Claus, and it helps their terrorism by making a film like this. And writer-director, he obviously had a concern for the oppression of the people of Serengeti. I don't know. When you combine an advertisement for the tourism of Finland and budding social commentary, you get, well, weirdness. Mommy, why are those people kidnapping those French people? Of course, the politics at the time when this movie was made was supposed to be under control of the government. And by 1983, the new government in Senegal was supposed to be efficient, and the government was approved of making this film. They approved making this film. So I'm like, is this helping the tourism capital of Serengeti? Are people going, let's go to Serengeti where they have all these parks and the terrorists? But why? WTF? Why is this film? Why do we even bring the support of the quote stable government? This film is supposed to be a family film. How do you get from the widest place on the planet like Finland to Sengali? I do not know. But again, they're known for their parks, but why terrorists? Why? If you like movies, you like commentary on movies, you can watch here at the Coconut Daddy channel. If you like Santa Claus and budding social commentary of Africa, you can watch I Believe in Santa Claus. Guys, thank you for watching and subscribing and sharing. You guys have a wonderful evening.